Pug, or his real name. But yes, got that wrong, didn't I? I bet his real name's Stephen, although I thought it was Victor, wasn't it? And I just thought everybody calls him different names, so I was going to call him all the names this morning, but we know him as Bug. We met him through Richard Powell and the team at St Paul's, and we've been engaged in outreach for nearly 18 months now, which has been a real blessing. And we've become friends, both attend the men's breakfast at Romford Eve, and we were there yesterday. We were talking about men's anger, wasn't we?
We was.
How was your driving this morning? Yeah, okay, that's it's work in progress, yeah. So we're looking at these things, yeah. And I get to join the guys at St Paul's. They have a quarterly curry night and a meat night, and got the great chef here with us as well today. I've never eaten so much meat going to Percival. When's the next one?
Hopefully 7th of February.
7th of February. You ready? Great, that's fine. That's good. That's right. So we're going to be going for that one. I think you can pick up, he's a bigger-than-life character, has a real heart to share the gospel and help those in need. He doesn't just wear his heart on his sleeve. He's got Bible verses tattooed on his arms, just as a reminder of where he's put his trust. Yeah? I don't know, anybody else has got... Show us again. That was a quick version. Fantastic, isn't it? Yeah? Anybody want one later? We'll arrange it, yeah? Okay. But I've had the privilege of him sharing his testimony, but not all of it. And we do it on the streets. You kind of scare people about how many cars you've stolen. We'll come on to that. But I thought it'd be a great opportunity and a real privilege for us to invite Bug to come along and to come and share that this morning. So just bear with us as we have a conversation, and I trust that you're blessed, challenged and encouraged, all three things. So look, growing up, tell us a bit about where you grew up and your family.
So I grew up in Dagenham. My family are not Christians. My dad left when I was around about 12. I've got a younger sister. I went to school in Dagenham, but I was kind of bullied for my voice because I got a condition called Klinefelter's. So although my voice is deeper now, up until around about 23, it was like really squeaky. And I often got picked on for it. But me and my best mate, we had like a no bullying policy. So in school, we anyone that did bully someone, we made sure their life was a living nightmare.
You can see why I'm being very careful this morning. But yeah, so yeah, I think it's a great thing from that. So school was kind of okay, but difficult.
School, I had lots of learning difficulties. I'm dyslexic. I kind of developed later on in life, so that's why I've got no hair. That's why you can see my tattoos so beautifully. Yeah, like school was quite challenging, but because my mum put so much effort into, she was an area Synco, so she put effort into getting me the right help I needed in school. I really tried to apply myself and keep out as much trouble as I could, even though that's pretty difficult.
So it gets to that point, you finish school and you have to make a decision. So with all these things going on, and obviously you terrorising the school, and you've left school, what happened? What was the next bit? What happened after school?
So I decided, my godfather was an electrician, and he convinced me that is the best career to go into. We beg to differ, but I'm still doing it.
Phil's nodding over there as an electrician, yeah. There's two of you now.
Yeah. So I kind of went to college and pursued electrical, but on the side of that, I met some guys and we used to drug deal, but I never got involved with taking drugs at that time.
So tell us about some of the companies you work for, because obviously you qualified as an electrician, and that's a real achievement.
Yeah.
So who do you work for?
I've worked for Essex Electrical, which used to be based in Crow Lane. I worked for a fire alarm company called Premier Fire. Worked for them for a good 3 years, and then I eventually started working with my old man, which in never work for your old man. It's a nightmare. Honestly.
That's a bit of advice, isn't it? That's clear. Well, excellent stuff. So during this time, sort of, you've got all this going on, the job's going on, etc. You've started dabbling in drugs. You're saying you're not taking them, but you're certainly selling them to other people. So that's obviously helping with the income. You start going to church.
Yeah, so
it's a bit of an imbalance.
It is a bit. So my best friend, we used to get up to all sorts with each other. Like I said in school, we bullied the bullies, and he all of a sudden stopped drinking, changed his life around, started going to a church, invited me along. I'm not even gonna lie. I went along. I was like, "What have you done to my mate? You brainwashed him." What seemed to change him, I wanted to know more and more, and that kind of turned me to believing and trusting in God. I then met my wife in church. We got married in 2011. She had 2 beautiful kids I raised as my own. Yeah.
Now, how long were you married for?
We was married for around about 9 years.
9 years.
yeah.
Okay, so that's a good period of time.
Well, it was.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And it was a good time.
Beg to differ.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it had its ups and downs. I'm sure everyone's marriage has their ups and downs. But it ended quite badly. My wife decided, actually, my stepdaughter had mental health problems. She wanted to move to Scotland to live with her aunt. My wife insisted on following her down, only to, once we got to near enough the date where I was going to move down and follow her, and she ended it.
So that's a really rough thing. That's we even prayed about when we hit really rock difficult places. But how did you cope? How did you respond to those circumstances? Because we all have different ways of responding. How did you respond to that?
Well, I was still attending church. I'll put on a smile for everyone at church. I kind of lived this nothing can hurt me kind of persona that I'd kind of built up from being younger. And then in my time away from church, I started to dabble in drugs to take away the pain of my wife leaving. Yeah. So, and then that addiction became slowly worse and worse. I ended up losing my job with my dad. I was made homeless. My addiction just worsened. I started to deal again, but when I dealt drugs, the profit, you could make a good profit dealing drugs. I'm not going to lie, but my profit I did myself. So I was only ever paying for the next reload and then taking the drugs and then reloading, and it was just a continuous cycle to the point where I couldn't no longer uphold my own habit, and so I got involved in stealing vehicles. We were talking about this the other day.
I'm going to jump in here. You see, he always talks about stealing vehicles. I'm going to throw it out. How many cars do you think he's stolen? Too many is the right answer. Yes, because I asked it at home. Sorry. Oh, it's not that good. It definitely wasn't that good. Go on, say how many it was.
So around about 405 cars, I reckon.
Around 405 is a specific number to me. Yeah, so it was 405 cars. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so those things really became central. Everything that was going on.
Yeah. So my habit was getting worse. I started to move on and experiment with crack. Yeah, life was just a continuation of drugs and stealing cars, and until kind of January 23, when it came to me that there was something massively missing from my life, and something that I knew already I could go back to. And the problem was, at the time when I did know God, I believed that everything that was in my life belonged to me. So my wife, that belonged to me. My kids, they belonged to me. My home, it belonged to me. But the real fact is, nothing in this world belongs to us, and it's all from God. And every good gift is from God. And so I bumped into some friends. I was living on a graveyard bench in Dagenham Parish Church. And the minister there and some friends bumped into me one day, and they asked me the question, how can you get out of this life? And I said, there's 2 ways. You can break my legs or I get arrested. Well, they weren't up for breaking my legs, sadly. And so in March of 2023, I was arrested in a stolen motor vehicle. Praise God. Not many people can stand here and say, praise God, but you know what? I'm so grateful for that day. It really, it got me out of a bad situation. Yeah.
So I think when you and I were talking, it kind of slid, didn't it?
Yeah.
So you spoke about living in your van.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you spent quite a period in time on that, and then the council, you didn't pay your tax,
They towed my
the
van.
council took his van away.
Yeah.
And then you ended up on a bench. How long? In a graveyard in Dagenham?
I reckon I was on the graveyard for at least 8 months to a year. Probably in a van for 6 months.
Yeah. I just want to pick up on that point. It's just like, from having a professional job, from having everything together, how quickly, over a period of time, that slid and it completely was taken away. So during that time,
Yep.
how, was God speaking to you? Did he? You spoke. You said about you saw people. What was kind of happening at that time?
It was kind of crazy. You know, I'd often bump into Christians who would be like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I'd lie to their faces like, "Oh yeah, life's great." Like on the inside, I'm dying. There was random people that email me. There was people that would reach out on Facebook. The whole time, God was just kept niggling at me. As much as I was rejecting him, and I knew I was rejecting him, I knew that I blamed him for everything that had gone wrong, and I knew that I was pushing him away, and yet he didn't give up on me. It's kind of like that prodigal son. He's there waiting with his arms open to receive you back, and he just keeps niggling at you. You can try and run. Trust me. I even tried to get away in cars, and he still came and found me. So.
So in that time, people were speaking to you,
Yeah.
and unexpectedly changing the direction you was in. So everything kind of crystallises at this point with this court case.
Yeah.
Now, we talk about court cases because we know for a fact you didn't go into prison, but when we spoke about this, there was really a threat in terms of how long you could have actually gone to prison.
Yeah.
Just because it's to do with the cars, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a blessing that you were not arrested for the drugs. Yeah?
Definitely be in prison.
Yeah, you're definitely in prison. Talk to us about how long you could have been convicted for, and that impact on that would have been for you.
I went to court 3 times, and over them 3 periods of times of turning up, like my life progressed. God really started to work in my life. So I was attending a church, and then was blessed by this lovely couple at the front to live with them for 6 months during the time that I was in court. My life dramatically changed. So I went from this rough-looking guy to the second one, kind of like a bit more clothed up and less looking like he'd just come off the street. And then the third time, I turned up and my best mate was there, and they read the maximum sentence at the beginning, which was 9.5 years. I'm not even gonna lie, I looked at my best mate and I've never seen him look like he's gonna pass out, but he looked like the world had ended. I honestly was sitting there thinking, well, this is much more serious than I actually first thought about. Everyone was just like, all my mates were just like, oh, don't worry, he'll get off with a slap wrist and he'll be fine. And for the first time in this like whole court case, I didn't realise like, whoa, I'm facing a major problem. But I was already part of St. Paul's. So many people wrote wonderful letters of reference for me. God had already started to use me in the area. I started running a Celebrate recovery group, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Yep.
But yeah, I was there waiting, and for some reason I had this same judge 3 times in a row, and he said it's such a rarity to end up with the same judge. And he'd seen such a change in me, and he'd read the references and had witnessed that there'd been such a change that he gave me 12 months suspended sentence, 6 months on tag, 4 months DRR, which is like a drug rehabilitation, and some community service stuff, which like is only the grace of God that I get to stand here today and share this. Otherwise, I'd be in a prison sharing it somewhere.
Excellent, yeah. So, really defining moment, real change. Clearly, God intervened.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there was a real change for you. And God does incredible things. He's not done that in my life, and that's great to have you to come and share that testimony. But he's done great things in many of our lives. But I think what I want to do is to sort of just focus on that God took you a path that you were going down, which wasn't healthy in any respect. He could have been nearly 10 years in prison. Yeah. And once that's defined, then life is difficult, even if you try to manage out of that. So what's been happening since that time?
It's just kind of been a bit wild, really. So I've got a criminal record now, but under new legislation, you've got once you've spent your sentence, your probation sentence, then you under a normal DBS you see nothing, but on an advanced DBS it'd come up theft of a motor vehicle. But since then, I've been clean now, coming up to just over 2 years from cocaine, 3 years from crack. I now run a group called Celebrate Recovery, which is for hurts, habits, and hang-ups. It helps people with addiction, it helps people with mental health, it helps people with all sorts of walks of life, but I kind of look after the addiction side of things. We run that on a Thursday evening at St Paul's. I also run it on a Tuesday evening at a homeless shelter in Romford, and there's now a ladies on a Tuesday as well, group that runs. So yeah, I'll do that. We go out onto the Hildene here, and I get to tell people, I stand there and tell them I've stole cars and I'm really sorry if it was yours. I'm still waiting for the day someone comes up and says, you. And when that day comes, hopefully I'll get to tell him about the love of Jesus, or her about the love of Jesus. I think God's changed my life so much. I'm in a great job. I work as a maintenance engineer. By the grace of God, I've got that job. I get to tell people about Jesus every day. I get to be different because every day I get told by him, you're not like normal people. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. But yeah, there's loads of ways in which God has changed my life. I don't live on the streets no more. Hallelujah. Yeah.
Oh, listen, what a story. My life's a completely different story. I can't touch any of that stuff. But what God can do, and it's what we got when we read our scriptures, when we look at what God's saying, you know, Bug's coming here, and I'm really pleased he's come here. He's sharing what he's been saved from. He's sharing where he's put his trust. And I just want to ask the last question really is, if you get one shot at it, what is the best advice that you could give everybody today?
Good question. I don't think I think we think that we can rely on our own strength in everything. I think that we can often look at life and go, do you know what, I'm going to get through this day. I'm going to make it through the next hour, especially me as an addict. I think addiction is difficult. The first thing you think of, even 3 years on, is the good times of the addiction. You don't never remember the bad things and like the weight loss and all the random stuff that was really hard. I think the most important thing is that you rely on God for your strength every day. So one, rely on God for strength every day. Number two is realise that nothing you've got in your life is yours. It's all a gift from God. And just know that if you think you're too far gone, God's waiting there with open arms. I think that's the three things. I know you said for one, but three. Yeah.
Big thank you for the church for coming along. It's the first person to come and do this. If you've been encouraged by this, I've got a bank robber for next time. All right? I joke not. But I just want us to really just get to grips that it's a very small step in the wrong direction. And every day with God is in the right direction. That's what Bug's sharing with us today. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Excellent.